Hey, what's up? This is Michael Gray, and you are here at Life Skills for a Lifetime. That's my contact information down at the bottom, Instagram and my email. Anything you need, advice, materials, like whatever, just hit me up. Today is empathy and connection. It's definitely an emotional intelligence skill that we are short on here in America in terms of society-wise. And it's something that's teachable, learnable, and until we teach it in schools pre-K through grade 12, it is still a skill that is going to be elusive for so many. Here's the research that I use for this lesson, and I give this lesson to my students, about 120 students, 130, and I also use this lesson with the 1,200 to 1,500 students that come through the care center at Poly High School, and not just students, but parents and staff also. All right, so let's get started. Look, empathy is thrown around quite often as a good thing, and it is a good thing. Compassion, the same. Here's my take on it. Empathy is an action word. It is useless for me to just understand what someone's going through and keep it to myself. All right? Or to try and feel compassion towards somebody. Those are useless until I actually take action on them and use them to help that person or that group, right? So that's what a big part of this talk is today, this lesson, is that empathy is an action word and compassion is a verb. So let's go clockwise. No one heals themselves by wounding another. So if I'm unable to show empathy or have empathy and show compassion, have compassion, right? Sometimes it's because I'm hurting. And when I'm hurting, that's actually the time to reach out and learn how to have empathy for other folks, because it helps me overcome what I'm going through. And if I am going through stuff, or when I am going through stuff, inevitably all of us are, by hurting other people, by wounding other people, it doesn't help us. It doesn't heal us. At the bottom, empathy and understanding must precede advice. You cannot be helpful in whatever role that you want to have in life unless you learn this empathy, okay? And until you really learn how to, we're going to practice this, until you learn how to take the perspective of the other group or the other person, all right? And truly, empathy is the medicine the world needs, like for real. And once again, you hear empathy all the time, just kind of thrown around. We teach it in schools a little bit, like every once in a while. No, it's a skill that has to be practiced every day, and then it becomes an action word, and then it's useful, and then our society can start moving forward towards where I think we want it to be, which is people having equity in their life, people having the ability to live their life the way that they want to, right, and deserve to. And that we're uplifting each other. So let's get started. This is an exercise. There are two sides to every story, and that's a fact. If two people that see the same thing differently, yours and theirs. So those are the two sides. Perceptions are powerful. Being able to see another person's view is a skill that helps with being able to have empathy. It's so true. So you may have seen this picture before, but let's use it today to prove that two people can look at the exact same thing differently. Look at this picture. What do you see? And then ask others, what do they see in the picture? All right, here we go. So make sure you pause the video and just kind of check out this picture. So you get the picture. If you ask enough people, you will see both people in the picture. Let's go through it really quick. Right here, this is a chin, a mouth, no lips, right? a nose like mine, a huge nose like mine, and eyelashes over here, and they're looking down, and they're older. So this is hair, right? Eyes, nose, mouth, chin, and like a head covering. All right. The other person is younger. This is an ear. Let's start at the bottom. This is a neck with a necklace, the chin. This is the point of a nose, eyelashes looking over here. All right. And this is an ear. Okay. And once again, like a hat, probably, or hair, and then this is the hat. Anyway, here's the face. So a younger woman looking over here, an older woman looking down here. Okay? So there you go. Two different people within the same picture. I can look at it and see two different things, or I can just see one thing, and my friend can see the other. And we're looking at the same situation, the same scenario. So here's the other part of the exercise. Do you get the picture? If you ask enough people, you'll see both people in the picture. Now, do this in a group. Do it on a Zoom. Do it in a classroom. Do it at your table, at home. Do it with your friends. So to practice the idea that there are at least two sides to every story, try this. And once again, you can do it with your classmates, your friends, your family members. Pick a current event that you know your group will have an opinion. This is January 9th, 2021. There's plenty of events that people have opinions on. So first, write down your point of view on the topic. Pick a topic. Everyone separately writes down their point of view on the topic. Okay. And then at this point, if there's a lot of you, you can break into groups or breakout rooms, like whatever, and that's what you're going to do next. And if you can't, just make it a whole class discussion. But if you do the breakout rooms, you're having smaller discussions, and then you bring all the smaller groups back to the big group, right? So now, number 2, compare people's perception of the current event. Or just any event, like a historical event. Work hard to not argue your point, but work to see the other person's point of view. This is part of empathy. Gaining perspective is part of empathy. It's part of compassion. All right? Learning how to not have to be right is a part of empathy and a part of compassion. It's super crucial, super critical. That doesn't mean that you don't back down, from your belief in what you're proposing for this discussion. No, but you have to be willing to listen in order to gain perspective and to gain compassion and to gain empathy. We have to. What we have now is no ability to have a discourse, right? A discourse is a conversation. And if we want our conversations to lead to meaningful change, then we have to practice this. And it can't be a one-time thing. It has to be practiced at every conversation. All right? Now, here's my caution, for lack of a better word, in the box. Racism requires us to look at racism through the perspective of Black, Latinx, Indigenous, Asian, Pacific Islander lives. That's a requirement. Okay? Sexism requires us to look at sexism through the perspective of women. That's a requirement. LGBTQ plus issues require us to look at LGBTQ plus issues through the eyes of our brothers and sisters who are LGBTQ plus, and so on. The reality of advantages, if you are white or male or straight, and I'm all of these, are facts. So we can sit and deny that there are not advantages to being a white, straight male. All right? And I didn't say privilege because privilege throws people off. I have so many advantages as a white, straight male that other folks don't. Okay? So once I understand that I have these advantages, then I have a better perspective on what other folks are going through. All right? That doesn't mean you don't have challenges. I have so many challenges, but not because I'm white, and not because I'm male, and not because I'm straight. You get what I'm saying? Now, when you're doing this, when you're the person, like if you're in a sexism talk and you're a male, right? Or if I'm in a racism talk or an anti-racism talk and I'm white, okay? These talks and this perspective taking, it's not fuel for quote unquote victim mentality, right? Okay, and I'm tired of that, but still, I want to put that in the mix. This is not fuel for victim mentality. No one wants to foster that. No one wants to feel like a victim, all right? What this is, however, is blaming victims must stop. Racism is real. Sexism is real. Anti-LGBTQ plus policies and strategies and practices by society are real. All right? So, once again, that's why we have to have these conversations so folks that don't believe that those things are real can listen and take the perspectives of those who experience those. Right? What this is, however, is blaming victims must stop, and our ability to see perspectives different than ours is crucial. Empathy and connection are action words. It takes work. Yes, every day. Every day I'm white, every day I'm male, every day I'm straight. So that means every day I need to work at understanding from other folks' perspectives. And not just understanding, once again, understanding is not enough. Feeling empathy is not enough. It's a start, but putting it into action, that's where we're going to make a huge difference. As you're doing this exercise, you really want to be aware of this statement. People would rather be wrong with their group, with their tribe, than be right by themselves. So you want to be careful that you're not just in the midst of that conversation sticking to your group thought as opposed to listening and thinking for yourself. That's a major part of empathy, compassion, and perspective. So now after that discussion that you all have, now you kind of do some self-awareness stuff. All right? And on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 means you listened without interrupting, 1 means you always interrupted. What score would you give yourself for how well you listened without interrupting? And then how about the group? So this is self-awareness, super huge skill, another emotional intelligence skill, right? Now, the second rating is on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 means that you for real listen to understand the other group member's point of view. And 1 means you judged their view negatively while they were talking. What score would you give yourself for how well you for real tried to understand the other's point of view? And then also I left that out, but how about the group, right? So gaining perspective, learning how to listen, right? Being self-aware of how you're taking in the information. Those are all huge, right? Empathy has several aspects to it. What did you learn about this part of the skill? So this is a dope lesson to do, once again, at home, with your friends, at church, synagogue, temple, mosque, everywhere, right? School. There you go. This is a video, so what I'm encouraging you to do is pause this video and then go do a YouTube search, Together Tuesday, The Power of Empathy Part 1. It's Simon Sinek, and it's not a long video, but he tells such an interesting story about Noah, a barista at the Four Seasons in Vegas, and it's really a good story that kind of sheds some light on how treating people has such a powerful effect on their life and also your life. All right, so pause it now, watch that, and answer the questions. What were the actions of empathy Noah felt? at the Four Seasons. How can you show empathy towards others? And number 3, when you practice empathy towards your friends and others now, like at this point in your life, how will that help you when you start your career or your business, right? Okay. Welcome back. I hope you liked the video. We're winding this lesson up. Hopefully by now you see that empathy is a skill that we can improve. Number 1, we are born to be able to connect with others. Connection is inherent in us. We are a species that thrives on community and connection. And we're also born to want to help others when they need it. They've shown that research after research after research, clinical studies, that our brain is wired to connect with others and not just feel their pain and leave it at that, but to help them. All right. Here's a big one, the underlined part. We are also born to have self-empathy and self-compassion. Learning to be kind and understanding to yourself is a prerequisite to showing and giving empathy and compassion to others. We cannot be, I don't want to say two-faced, but, oh, I feel empathy for them over there, blah, but I'm not going to forgive myself. That doesn't work. Number 2, sometimes the best empathy and compassion for someone is just to sit with them, listen to them. No advice, no suggestions, just be there for them. Also, sometimes the best empathy and compassion is to go through it with them and make sure they don't go through it alone. That's the skill. We got to know when to do what. And there's a good video. It's like a cartoon of Dr. Brene Brown and empathy. It's really good. So I encourage you to find that one. Number 3, being able to see another person's or group's perspective is a huge leadership skill. You want to have a dope business as you get older, or now if you're an adult, if you want to gain a leadership position. And let me say this, being a leader doesn't require you to have a title. It doesn't require you to have a position at the company or at the school or wherever. Leadership comes at all levels from all people. And once we have a bunch of leaders at each of our organizations and families and schools, that's when things are going to keep moving forward. Number 3, once again, being able to see another person or group perspective is a for real leadership skill, as is being able to have real compassion. And no, compassion is not feeling sorry for someone. That's sympathy. All right, we're not trying to do that, although there are times for that, of course. But real compassion is more powerful than sympathy, right? And having real concern for others is a real leadership skill. That's real empathy. And then number 4, remember, empathy and compassion are both action words. It's not enough to think empathy or feel compassion. Actions are the true meaning of empathy and compassion. And lastly, as always, I end my lessons with, we need to elevate mental wellness skills equal to academics. These are not just an assembly or a one lesson here or there entity. Pre-K through grade 12 in all schools all over the United States, 57 million school students need to learn this stuff every day, put them into practice, and that means our teachers need to learn this stuff too, right? And our parents. So that's the formula. The formula is we all learn this stuff together, and we are at a huge part of the United States population, and that's when we can turn this around, okay? Our YouTube channel for the Care Center is Together Tuesday. There are so many videos there, and each video has in the video description area, like the one you watched from this lesson, questions for group discussion, individual journaling, like whatever you want to do. There's a Google Classroom with your Gmail. That's the code. You can get PDFs of this and a bunch of other lessons and pamphlets. Okay, or you can email me and I'll send you stuff like whatever, or give advice, anything you need, or man, take criticism, suggestions on what to do. So I appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening. Empathy and connection and compassion, super amazing emotional intelligence and mental wellness, because it's mental health. All right. That's what mental health is empathy and compassion and being able to understand other folks' perspective. All right. So I'm out. Have a good day. I appreciate you for real and love you for real. That's no cap. Like, I mean it. Love you. All right. Peace.